All right, all right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. It's boy, it's Youngling Jr. in here once again. And no stranger to the game here. We have BMT. I want to say I'm probably announce him. I'm glad you're back on the channel, brother.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Good to be back.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, exactly, man. So it's been a lot of things going on, man. With the Kanye West situation and everything. Let me ask you this: did you watch the whole campaign in South
Um,
Carolina?
yeah, I got to see it.
Oh, you got to see the whole thing. Okay, good, 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 good. So what was your initial thoughts on it, man?
Um, I guess for the most part, I didn't really have too much of an. I'm one of the minorities in it, where I didn't really have a problem with what he was saying because he was talking from a position of just very just blunt and open, and
Okay.
I people didn't kind of like it. They didn't like it, but I'm also like y'all are very hypocritical. They're very
Mm.
hypocritical, so.
We're gonna get into that. Okay, okay. And what do you mean by like hypocritical in a way? Like, like you think people was judging him in a way, the stuff that he was saying like about years ago about the choice and how he carried himself.
Pretty much so. When it comes about that kind of stuff or that kind of publicity, people, especially um, people are very fickle when you talk about their sacred cows or
Mm-hmm.
stuff in the community. You know, they get very fickle and very like, hey, you can't talk about that, or you can't say that kind of stuff, or but what did he say that was wrong? Literally when he said Harry Tubman did not free slaves. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Um, literally, she was part of bigger a bigger program. That was the Underground Railroad. I hated that they only put her up there as she was doing everything. And not only that, even if you were a freed slave, you still had to carry paperwork to tell them that you're free. So how does that make any sense? So let me get this straight. So you're a free slave, but you still got to tell people to, hey, I'm not somebody's property. Then that means you technically ain't really free because they don't see you as an equal. But why would you have to carry paperwork?
I think what it was in our definition of freedom. Oh, hold on, BMT. I think I'm echoing
Go ahead.
from your side. Okay. I think what it is, like our definition about that was that okay, well, they're free from that particular plantation, like to the point, like okay, they found a way to escape from the underground railroad, and they end up like in like Mexico, because it was one in Mexico, and up north to states up north, some into Canada. So they feel like, okay, I'm out of the tension that's going on with slavery. I'm like physically free, and I think that's what history was really portraying. But as far as like you coming from like the paper aspect, that okay, well, you still, technically you still not free because we had the Dred Scott case after that. It was still African Americans still suffering from this after Abraham Lincoln, signed that Emancipation Proclamation. So, I mean, I just think like maybe like physically free, but like mentally, and you still couldn't really do too much. Jim Crow, and it was a lot of stuff. We had to really come against. But I just think that as far as like 400 years of just being physically in bondage, that was it took a toll on our ancestors. So they was like, okay, well, we found a passageway. Every time, I mean, they say she convinced what over 3,000 people to help her escape when she found this passage, whatever, to go
Yeah,
ahead and all
yeah,
that night. Yeah. So does
yeah.
that constitute the freedom you think?
Allegedly, the story is she bested 3,000 people, and that's right there amazingly. I'm surprised, and this is from somebody who's been ruck marching. I know people gonna be like, "Well, sound like you hating." No, I'm just literally just analytically breaking it down.
Yeah,
That
I
would
did.
that
Yes.
would mean that would literally mean she literally moved 3,000 people.
Yeah.
How
I
the
can
hell
do
nobody nobody noticed that? Like, listen, man,
it.
keep track of a caravan. moving up South America.
Yeah.
And that's not even without satellite. That's literally just word of mouth. So literally, to be moving that many people, somebody would have been spilt the beans and literally have blown that operation out. Now, the next thing about it, like, and again, I'm just using out the straight information. But I know people are gonna be in their feelings about it. And I talked about it on my Patreon that again, even when slavery was so-called over with, right? Everybody in the South, they still were in the plantations. Like, it's not like the whites just that same day or that same month literally went and said, all right, y'all are free. They didn't even, they literally had to send the army, okay, down there to enforce it because they were not freeing the slaves. So you see what I'm saying? So
well, yeah, I get what you're saying. Doesn't the history data said like there was people that actually found a passage in the underground railroad and actually escaped from their initial plantation they were born in?
there were routes, Quakers, as we like to call them, the oatmeal people. There were people who were doing things to help. You know what I'm saying? There were people that were doing things to help with that. But then there were also so yeah, it was like you had to know the right safe house to go to. And hopefully that safe house wasn't going to be compromised or that church. So there was a lot of stuff. It wasn't as easy. I live where there are some plantations where I'm at. Okay. So I'm not talking or spouting out the mouth when I talk about this. I'm literally talking off of I've seen the floorboards and stuff where they've hidden children or different other stuff. And you got to understand, listen, when they had special hunting parties or people that literally were saying that, hey, I will pretend to be one of these guys, just to catch, these runaways. So the thing about it, and also fun fact, Harriet Tubman didn't even stay in America. When she got old, she left the U.S. and went to Canada. Why if it was so free as they say it was, why did she feel the need she had to leave the U.S.? I mean, you can look it up. She went to Canada.
Yeah, I can look it up right now. See what's going on.
She didn't retire in the U.S. She retired in Canada. It wasn't so sweet like people try to make it seem. Another thing, another pressure was a lot of the slaves if you go look at the what's the people called Liberia. The Liberia flag is drastically looks like the American flag. Only thing it has is one star. However, when they asked the slave, "Do you want to leave?" What did they say? No, we're good. We'll stay. Because it's like taking an animal, not calling no blacks animals, but I'm black too. But it was like, hey, trying to put like a lion that you always had in the zoo and trying to send it back to Africa. If y'all go watch, better you can go watch Tiger King. Why do you think they said we can't send these tigers back? Because they won't know how to make it out there. They wouldn't know because they're too indoctrinated. And that was one of the big problems for a lot of the people that were enslaved. A lot of them, the only thing they knew was just being a slave.
Well, and you brought something out really cool because I remember people. So somebody was stating that Abraham Lincoln's proclamation. He was saying one of the initial reasons was that it wasn't feasible financially to send the Africans back to West Africa. African Americans. So they was like, oh well, we gotta let them go legally. So I mean, it's really nothing. We had no use for them in a way. So I mean, they were saying that was pretty much like more of a political move. And again, too, it was a way to improve capitalism here in this country. And I think too, like if we were free from slavery physically, why do people was facing, racism, and we had laws like Jim Crow and all this type of stuff going on against us. And you had Andrew Johnson who came in after and making sure that, we at the bottom. So I'm looking like, damn, like, it's kind of crazy though out here. I was really thinking about that, man. Because like we was trying to like find our place here in America. This everything that we went through. But I will say this too. I did some research and right, there were ministers. There were people who escaped, and they actually that's how like a lot of the churches were actually created here in the community as well. A lot of them just started churches and so they can get away from where they came from, and also they can lift themselves spiritually. But it's but that's like an interesting thing though. I was like the initial reason why Lincoln did that. But yeah, well, and he said various things too in rally, man. So there's a lot of young people there. I said there's a lot of millennials there, and I think too this crowd. And one of the things I hate about media too is that he had a meltdown. I don't think it was a meltdown. I think it was a misunderstanding. He was talking about Planned Parenthood and abortion. And the young lady that came on stage and kind of voiced her opinion about how she felt offended, but bugging it out. So that the media don't really talk about that.
Right. They didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
And that's why I said it gets lost in the sauce because the minute Becky heard Kanye say something about Planned Parenthood,
mm-hmm.
They all freak out. I can't believe Kanye just attacked a Becky. No, he literally broke down what he meant.
Yep.
And because literally before it even came up about her, he was talking about his own instance of how he was sexually irresponsible.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, hey, he thought that he gave Kim AIDS or something crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what about having that baby at first and taking responsibility. And I think that's when he kind of restored everything else. But go ahead, yep.
Right. So he said for a few months, him and Kim talked about it, where he did not know if he wanted to have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
I talked about it even on my show, whereas to a lot of men have this conversation with their girl if they're lucky on whether or not they want to keep the baby.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, Kim at first didn't want the baby. She didn't know she wanted it.
Yeah.
And so I can understand why he says she'll probably be angry with me for telling me the story. Because, the Kardashian brand and how Kim is close with North. And it would kind of cause any child a little bit distraught to hear that, whoa, mommy, you didn't want me when you first found out you were pregnant with me? So that would have to be something that they would have to talk about later on and say, hey, yeah, I talked about it. But see, we look at it as, we're looking at him as just a rich man. We're not looking at him as just a man. That literally tells you that, hey, I have the same issues like you. My girl told me she was pregnant. I'm not sure, but I was living that fast lane rapper life. And I wasn't sure if I wanted the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Kim had a change of mind. She had a life or death experience. If we all remember that on the news, that's when him and Jay-Z had a falling out.
Yep.
I
think he was in Paris too when she got robbed too. And that particular time, he talked about that experience. How he felt it's nothing that he could really do at that particular moment. He was in his apartment overseas. Right. So yeah, man, that was crazy. So,
and that's when she said she wanted to have the baby, and he was like, yeah. He said he talked about it. He talked with God about it, which he keeps bringing up God about it. This stuff that he. So if that kind of let me know that he does pray about a lot of things. We know we may call him crazy.
Yeah.
But he said, listen, man, like I had to talk about this, and you know what? He said, we wanted the baby because there's so much that happened. We knew that after that we wanted a family.
Mm-hmm. And I think. And I think too, BMT, what really kind of got me chuckled up is that, you know, in this his campaign here, he talked about, you know, and his dad wanted abort him. And he was like, man, if my dad would have made that decision, it would be no Kanye. And he, crying a little bit, and people clapping. And that's very relatable, man. It's a lot of, I think too, he was subconsciously talking about too, is that it's a lot of kids out here that's not wanted, and I think they were like, quote unquote, like it's like a lot of parents, man, having these children, birth out of wedlock, and in our communities, and he was talking about too, is just that it takes a village to raise a child. And I'm thinking about, he was saying like the village is the people. It's not necessarily financial gains. It's all about resources. Like a child need that spiritual, that mental, that physical. They need that affection. They need all of that growing up in this world so they can feel a part and feel, they have a chance to make it out here in society, man. And that was really deep to me, because you got kids that feel like, their parents don't love them, don't care nothing about them. So what they revolve to, violence in the streets, they act out. And he was just talking about Kanye. He said the president, and he said Biden. He said we cannot save you. Only thing you can save you is you obey the rules and the laws in the promised land. I was just like, bro, like that was just very powerful to hear from a candidate.
But I think, and that's the thing about it, like there was an earnesty of honesty in that, for me. And I mean, people have how they feel about him, but he told the spectrum truth that, hey, like reality's sake, listen, y'all, like y'all looking for one of us to save it, and the reason why, like when the black girl, I guess, like when they, the incident when he was talking about, hey, like when the girl freaked out about the Planned Parenthood thing,
yeah,
she freaked out, started screaming.
Yeah, oh yeah, and he kept his composure.
Right. So she started screaming, and the other girl. But I wanted to look back over that. Now him jumping in between that, because mind you, the girl never said, "Oh, he attacked me." He didn't.
Oh, no.
But he was more so, he just didn't want nobody to feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? I think the girl on stage or something. I think she was, but he had a black female on stage with him, and I guess he was just going over how, like, listen, man. But he said, "I will pay you," which I thought that was probably the best deal ever.
$1 million.
No, well, 50. He give them $50,000.
Yeah.
Just to keep the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Like, y'all women, y'all probably will never get a better deal than that. I'm just letting y'all know.
Like, they when she started saying that, people started clapping, and she kind of like changed her demeanor a little bit. She's like, "Oh, okay, well, I ain't too mad,"
Right. And it wasn't like no hush money. He was like, "Listen,
yeah,
if you're pregnant, listen, and you feel like you got financial pressure, because we all know having a kid in this day and age is hard."
Yes, it is.
But he said, "Listen, we'll help. We'll find a way." You know what I'm saying? But we all know that some people don't got it like that. But he's like, find a way. And a lot of people, they don't have a kid because they don't think that they can financially take care of the child.
And they want the joy to bring a child in the world. And then too, stuff happens. Yes, I understand women and men have to be responsible who they lay up in bed, but it's human nature. You don't want eventually that affection. I don't believe that anyone in this world is meant to be alone. It's somebody for everybody, man. God didn't really make this and create us for us to be alone, man. So my thing is that you just gotta make that conscious decision. Like, am I financially straight? But eventually, when you're in a relationship, if the woman's fertile and so, you have a child. And so it's like children are the future. And I think that's pretty much what he was working towards. If he was articulating himself, I think about too is that, the jobs and stuff, that's a very good thing. Like, a lot of young people there, and I'm not sure if one of them gave a political agenda what they want. Like, I got a political agenda, and I'm going to talk about that too in a minute, but far as young people, let's talk about the student loans. You know, like I said, we talked about this on the phone. If you paying like $50,000, $100,000, you know what I'm saying? You in the hole and stuff. I feel like you should have an opportunity to go to Job Corps or intern your respective studies. You know that you got that loan for like 2 or 3 years, and then they will eliminate all your debt. And so therefore, that's a win-win situation because now in 2 and 3 years, even though you're not in your job market, but you are interning, and also too you are getting hands-on experience, and then once 2 or 3 years is up, you can go ahead and be competitive in the job market, which you studying, and you won't have no debt because he was talking about it's hard to like start something, but you in the hole already before your life even starts, and that's frustrating.
Right. No, it is frustrating. And I think that was one of the things about it that he was definitely putting out there that, hey, yo, like, it's not getting if I have these issues, I know you have those issues. One of his opening talks that he had was on Big Pharma.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not sure if you caught that when he was talking about Big Pharma, and he was talking about doctors trying to sell you pills that you don't need for money.
Yeah, I remember that.
Now, he was like, I didn't need those pills, but they sold it. They were trying to sell me that. Now, he was saying, so that's in his way going over the opioid crisis. When the last time you heard any politician go over the opioid crisis?
No, and that's a big issue in this country.
So the fact that he was talking about that shows me Kanye's not as dumb as a lot of people try to downplay him on.
Yeah, I know. Cause I don't know, man. Because when I was listening to this, man, I was just like, damn, like it was some things I was like, okay, that's a little rational. But other than that, I was looking like, damn, like I was clapping, and I'm like, the stuff he was just saying, like these biblical principles, it was just deep. Like, I don't know, man. He's it's like I think he may be really sincere for the people. I mean, but it's interesting on this, man. I just pray like he does a lot of things for the Black community, and like one of the things too,
he's already done a lot of things.
Yeah,
we forget the George Floyd. The George Floyd thing. See, that's the thing about it.
Yeah,
and I said that everybody likes you so long as you paying money and you being subservient. But then you ask for the answers of how to get to certain levels. All of a sudden, people don't like you. So you like me when I'm spending money, but you don't like it when I'm telling the truth. He literally talked about being high and getting high in a uppity neighborhood. And literally, he was like, yo, I be getting high.
Yep.
I be getting high and I be, getting involved in all this stuff. Everybody had all the smoke for him when he was talking like that. But I'm like, wait, what do y'all want? Like, what more do y'all want? Because any other time y'all would probably be like, well, white people do it too. But he's telling you that as a billionaire, and guess what? They want it too. So he was letting us know that guess what? They be out there having the same goddamn issues, just like we do. But and they ain't too much different.
I think too. What I like about this, is Will Corrali. He was really talking about family. Family is so deep. And I've been telling people, we've been talking about this on our podcast for the longest, BMT, that family is the foundation structure of everything, man. Like that's really how you have great communities. This is how you have safe communities. Because in the Black perspective, in the hood, you're trying to survive, and it's kind of sad. You're trying to survive against your own people because you're like, damn, are they gonna rob me? Are they gonna kill me? Like some of them. And it's kind of dysfunction. It's the dysfunctional. So, I'm sorry, guys. You guys hear that? That's just thunder and lightning outside. But anyway, so it's like, he was just talking about like, man, no, these opportunities, I get these jobs for these people. Like when you have opportunities and jobs and everyone has a chance to utilize her gifts and talents in a legal way in a said community, I truly guarantee and believe that the crime rate will be very low. Because we need to address our black and black crime. We really need to address that. It's good that we raising awareness of law enforcement or people that don't look like us killing us, but at the same time too, we got to be held accountable for our own people. And I believe he was preaching more accountability too throughout this whole political rally in South Carolina.
He was talking a lot about those kind of things, and literally he was talking about a lot of crime and issues going on in the urban community. We already know that him and Kim had already been out there, and they already put their time in. Like, everybody has seen that. He's the only one that we know that has paid for doggone, a whole. I think he put down money for. He's paid for Aubrey.
Yeah, Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd.
He paid for all three of them.
And then too, I think he gave an opportunity for children to go to college too. So the 6-year-old, she kind of said, man. So yeah,
if you can choose any college you want, and he's already said, I'll take care of it.
Right.
So, the fact that, he's a billionaire. By the time she gets 18, he'll have way more money than that. Kanye will have more money than that. Kind of hard to get rid of the brand. Like, his family. So, and we already know it's not just him. Even Kim is even on board. So, the thing about it is, people feel some type of way because of how they were talking, of how he talked about it. But I'm like, wait, y'all like it when Donald Trump was talking like that? We need a politician that's real and do this and that. So now you got somebody who is not a politician again. But see, they're not coming out and speaking articulate like how you want them to speak. That's how you want them to act. But y'all liked it when nobody has a problem when Trump tweets. And yes, I am a conservative Republican, so I will say some shit about it. So nobody has a problem when Trump tweets or say things. So why do you have a problem when Kanye says it? Here he's talking.
The fact is that what Kanye represents, and and as from a black community perspective, this is what I'm hearing. Like, people like, he's crazy, he's losing it. He hasn't been the same since his mother died, and the secular music that he's been producing all his years, and now people feel like he's playing God and making gospel music, flipping back and forth. The way he was supporting, he was conservative or not. I feel like he had a lot of manipulative tactics, and I think it's just hard for us, man, to forgive him. And even despite he might be doing good things in the background, but as human beings, we're naturally negative. So you know how negative and bad news spread faster than good news. So we're not talking about how PK was helping out and making sure, she was, sure like a lot of people in prison, that was in prison for relational crimes are getting out, having less sentences. So it's I don't know, man. It's just kind of, I feel like right now in our state, especially as millennials in this, we gotta look forward to what's affecting us and how's it going to affect us, like in our future generation. Like, we gonna start having kids or children, stuff like that. How are we gonna be in positions of power to move this country forward? And that's what we're looking at, because it's us and Generation Z. Generation X only can do so much, and the Boomer generation ain't gonna be here forever. So, who else gonna run this at the end of the day? And so I just think that's what it is. Like Kanye West, he's using his influence and the fans that he made over the years through his music to talk about something that's big, something that is really huge. And could he win? No, he may be running for the independent party. And as you can see too, he did say about I don't give a F, what I'm saying, if I win the presidency or not. I was like, damn, like,
Now here's the thing about it. A lot of people say Kanye can't win.
Right.
And that's, but I would say this. If he had started out the race the same time when everybody else had, I will tell you right now, the Gen Zs would have came out in mass and voted for him. they would have came out and massive vote for him. Because he checks. I mean, which one of the other two is way more intact than him?
Mm-hmm.
Which one is way more intact? He's been talking about giving civilians back power, accountability, all the other stuff. When I mean, he's a self-made. I mean, the most you could do is go on his music, and I mean, literally, if you want to go off his music, I mean, then damn it. Then the other two, then he got them in spades, and he would have them in spades.
Right.
So I'm sorry. Out of all the other two, if I'm y'all got to hear my mouth, but I'm gonna vote with mine.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I mean, in this thing, it's not even all about Kanye West can be freaking white. He can be freaking green, yellow. It's like to the point, like, look, bro, whoever can really go and help from black men's perspective, what we need, like this is what I want. This is like one of the lists that I have, right? So number one, we need to focus on this. This is legit. We need to release U.S. prisoners, reform and educate at least $1 billion. I want to say, no, actually, $1 million. $1 million. That's number two. Number three, restart our credit to 650. Number four, zero taxes for 100 years, each descendant, each person born within a time period. Number five, 4 grants for well-built brand new homes, singles of 2,000 square feet and families 3,000 square feet. Number six, let's have 4 grants for education to master's degrees. That's a huge thing. Number seven, full insurance, full health insurance, home insurance, auto insurance. Number 8, business grants and business grants and loans. And far as we can have educational grants like marketing, organizational, piracy, intellectual property, economic study and creation, finance and accounting, strategic organization, and grants for completion of prototype, 6 months e-commerce, intellectual property. I think those are because I think that's really like our main issues. If he can find a way to do something like that, I'm like, hey, okay, well, get on board. Let's get to work. But the education and the health insurance, that's extremely important. That's important for us.
Good. People like you. Everybody likes you until you start holding people's feet to the fire.
Mm-hmm.
And then, oh shoot, who are you? Like you got it with the Breakfast Club. Have they ever asked for Kanye to come up to the Breakfast Club, or they keep asking for T.I.?
They be having T.I. kill Mike. I love them brothers, but it's Kanye West gonna get that truth. He don't care.
Right. So you won't have the billionaire come up there, but you'll have the people who are not even in the top 10 bracket, but T.I. or Killer Mike, they ain't in the top 10 bracket. They're not.
Mm-hmm.
So how the hell are you going to bring up when you want somebody successful, doesn't have any kind of record, doesn't have no issues, a family man who hasn't had their family out there and all kind of crazy stuff? Wouldn't you rather have that type of person on there? And I get if people want to say, well, Kanye is crazy, well, I'm like, well, give me a president who is mentally sane.
Right. I mean, at this point,
I'll wait for that guy.
But BMT, I'm looking like at this point, we went through. I mean, as a country, bro, like the 2020 and just in general. Look, bro, I'm not surprised. Like, shit, it can be just down the damn street. Right? As long as you can go ahead and just get these damn policies pushed for the black community, good. But that's all I want, man. Because remember, we made a video saying I just want my damn reparations. You know what I'm saying? On Asheville, North Carolina,
You're talking about that one. So
yeah,
like I said, man, like again, and I tell it to people, if you really want freedom, Liberia is always open, all kind of countries. But when you start saying that, people say, well, why do we got to leave America? And I'm like, well, you got to understand. You're in a first world country, so they're going to have certain rules and regulations. No, you don't like it, but hey, I don't make the rules.
I agree.
No.
I mean, shit. Some you think, man, like come November, man. You think his name gonna be on the ballot, and then niggas gonna be like, you know what?
We could always write it.
I need to go vote for.
We can always write it in.
Oh yeah, you can. You can.
Okay. Yep. That actually makes sense. So you can write his name in the ballot.
Okay.
So
yeah. Okay.
no. You're right. You can write his name in the ballot. So
Yeah.
like I said, everybody didn't think Trump was going to win, but he won. So I would have count. Listen. I don't count nothing up. No, I don't count nothing out anymore.
But let me ask you this: if Kanye West have another rally like in South Carolina, and you know it ahead of time, would you attend?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I would ask him questions. Everybody just was like ooh and ah, but nobody was asking him questions.
Well, we don't know if they ask him questions afterwards, though.
I don't. Yeah, that's the thing about it, because the interviews that we got to see, the interview I had was from one of the reporters that was there. One of the people that was there, they took it and they submitted it to the reporters,
Mm-hmm.
and that was it. So he probably didn't really want cameras there like that, because he also understood how people, a picture can be interpreted into 1,000 different things.
Right.
So when people saying, and I saw Facebook, one of the first things I heard people say, Kanye said he almost killed his baby. We should take the kids away from him. They didn't talk about the abortion. They didn't talk about none of that stuff.
That's yeah, and I like how he professionally addressed illegal immigration, and you talked about like how we immigrants, what I'm saying, like I mean we was already here, like that type of stuff now, which is kind of true, what I'm saying. I mean, like America really wasn't. It pretty much of the Indians was already here, man. What I'm saying. We just over time took over the land and stuff like that, man. I mean, some policy. So I mean, he was like, who's really the true immigrants here in this country, like so. And I like how he really addressed that, because I think too many times in Congress, like we kind of focus too much on the immigration. Don't get me wrong, I do believe that if you're not from this country, you gotta go through the standard procedures like any other country. If you limitations like start business and stuff like that, you gotta kind of like you gotta at least try to make an advantage for the American people that's already born here, compared to someone who's just coming in over here, but not having any papers. So I do truly believe that, but I just think that for once, like if they have another debate, a presidential debate, and hopefully Kanye West, man, he be up there, man, if he can really sustain himself. And that's another thing, BMT, I want to bring this up, man. I know this is new, but do you think Kanye? I know he got the money and stuff legally, but do you think Kanye got like a team that like an education team that help prepare for debates if it comes down to that? And how to be professional and how not to like go be rational. And you know how Kanye can be. So I was thinking like they'll have a hate bro, like cool and stuff, but on TV.
I think we saw his team. I think we saw some of his teammates.
Okay.
Up there on it. You get what I'm saying?
I thought that was his bodyguard, the big black guy. I thought it was his security.
No, one of those people there, they were one of the people but you got your security.
Yeah.
A lot of people were clowning him with his hat on.
Yeah, he did have a bulletproof vest on. Yeah.
Oh my, in this day and age, buddy, and no offense, but you're in the South. A lot of crazy things racially have been happening down here.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't blame him when people say, "Oh, why was he wearing a vest?" Nigga, y'all want to say shit when 50 Cent was wearing a whole vest, or Drake went up there with a vest, or Tekashi 69 went up there with a vest. Y'all don't think some of these people, these politicians, be getting up on stage with some type of security or something under their clothes? You're stupid. They do go up there. They do go up there with protection.
Yeah.
But I've got a lot of security.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them do go up there, and they have stuff under their clothing. So, yeah. So him just openly having a vest on.
Oh shoot. BMT, you there?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you now. Okay.
Okay, so the thing about it is a lot of people wear and have self protection to protect them just in case to make sure nothing crazy happens. That's not unusual, that's not abnormal. That's just something to protect them and keep them safe. Does that is that wrong? No, because I can I probably would rather him do that. That's been known to happen to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
That's been known to happen to a lot of people where
I agree. I
they
agree.
um when you're saying certain stuff and people don't agree, people do people don't know if people will attack you on just YouTube alone. I mean on Facebook and kill
Mm-hmm.
you. You gotta understand when you're saying stuff like that, you're saying stuff like he was saying it. And honestly, like I told you, young lady, we can't find something that he said that was wrong. Like, I mean, what did he say that was so destructive up there?
I don't know, bro. I mean, even if he did say something like I said, I think the Planned Parenthood thing, he cleaned that up. But other than that, I mean, it wasn't a meltdown. You know what I'm saying? A meltdown would have been like it was a huge mob of people clowning him, trying to beat him up, and the security, he had to leave and run out. No, I mean, he was just very emotional. And then because the one was emotional, and they end up, coming to grounds and different perspectives, they end up hugging it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you got to think about he's talking about sensitive issues, and you're trying to run and lead the country. So yes, things are going to get caught up. Maybe it might be unusual sometimes. This happened to candidates all the time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like I just think they just want, they just want to get something because they know Kanye West, he's a big name, and shit. And when little shit pops off, it's just for the media, for ratings. That's all that is, and people are falling for it. So, and I don't know, BMT. Like I told you, man. Like I have his whole like music catalog, and so I like his music. I love him to death. My fiance even knows that every time she's in the car with me, I'm bumping some type of Kanye. You know what I'm saying? Before I bump anything else. So, and I was like, if you got some Kanye West tickets, I'll go definitely. That'll be the best birthday present ever. But anyway, it's just, the stuff that how hard he works and stuff growing up and everything. And when people didn't believe in himself and his mom, it was powerful because all he had was him and his mom, and he made something out of himself. You know, so I mean, that's a big inspiration, man. And he was just basically inspiration. Like, hey, you could be anything you want to be. You know,
Right. No,
so
that's true. And I think that's one of the biggest assortments of stuff that has happened. Was I mean, at this point, I always tell people you can't shame Kanye. You really can't.
mhm.
He at the level he's at now, you can't. I mean, he's eight. He's self-made himself, and so it's just one of those things where I'm like, I get it. He needs his medication, but you know what I'm saying, as long as he takes he's down to one med. But regardless of whatever we want to say, I always ask people like they said about the Harry Tubman thing. I said, could you tell me what was the bill Harry Tubman wrote? Also, then I'll ask them again about the um. I asked him again. I said, okay, then if your life was so good, why were if life was so good? And here's the thing that's going to really stab people in the throat. If we truly are free and equal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you why. Let me show you why it would piss people off. If we're truly free, equal, you ready?
I'm ready.
Why are y'all protesting?
That just summed it up. That just summed it up. So he knows it's a damn issue going on.
Correct. If you're truly free
Yep.
and equal,
Yep.
why are you protesting?
There's no need to protest people. That's what I'm saying. So when people say the United States Constitution, all men are created equal, I don't believe that. I just don't. I mean, because not it's In God's eyes, we all created in His image. Yes, I truly believe that. Good, but we all have different gifts. We all have different talents. We all have different backgrounds and where we grew up. Some grew up in the ghetto. Some grew up in a rich neighborhood. Some people had different things and influences that actually might help them out or defer them to being successful in the world. So we not create evil. I don't truly believe that because if that was the case, that I was studying and death penalty, and I had to report about it. It's like it's a black defendant is more prone to get the death penalty than a white defendant. And don't get me wrong, I think it's like it's kind of crazy though because I mean, you look at like redlining wouldn't been an issue. And that time, 50s and the 60s and stuff like that, man. Interracial dating and marriages was actually illegal in that particular time. You heard about the Lovey story that happened in the 50s in Virginia. So I truly believe that in their eyes, like we're not. I mean, according to the United States Constitution, they feel like we're treated as a person, minority. So we just limited to access of a lot of resources. So I can't. I just don't understand that we're creating equal type stuff. That don't make sense to me. It's some people got deformities and stuff. It's just don't. So yeah, I mean, as the state right here now we're in this country, like I said, young people are out here, be rioting and stuff, and I understand it, but it got to be a different way because all we want, because you can think about it, was black people there, white people there in South Carolina rally, Asians, it was some Asians there, it was all kinds of people there, mainly young people. Is it because they like music, or is it because they're like, listen, let's do probably a little bit of that too, but I think it's mainly like we want something that we can kind of relate to. So I think Kanye might have a chance with the youth, man. We might be pretty
bro.
yeah.
That's the only thing. And I thought about that when everybody said he didn't free. What are you talking about, the Harry Tubman? And I'm like, well, then what would be the whole point of you protesting? Because if you are somebody who is in a complex, especially in the U.S. society, right? Then why do I have to say hands up, don't shoot? Why do I have to go get certain type of amendments passed if I'm equal and I'm free? Why do I have to have certain amendments passed for me to be able to, chill out or be able to sit on my porch or have my kid at the park and play with like a little squirt gun or something, like a BB, a little pellet.
Yeah.
So I can't be that free if literally, I got to make sure that I'm following accordance or get popped. And that's not victim talk. That's also reality.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I just think too, like, this is more because, like I said, we're gonna have to take over this, and as millennials, we gotta be the ones, like I said, the new judges, the new politicians, the new all this. So it's we gotta know where we know where we're facing, and I think where the frustration does come, we just don't know how to eliminate all this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? How can we reach the American dream as a whole? You know what I'm saying? Without dying for this, like without getting killed, so it's a different type of society here, man. And I think too, we talk about this. I think he did address the population. Now he addressed the situation that it was an example. I can't be happy in this country like if I see homeless people outside the Gucci store. It's like I was like, damn, like that's a huge issue too. Homeless vets. I wonder what he's gonna do. How is he gonna help with the stuff like that? People serve this country like. Are you any type of program? What are you trying to do to help? And people who's struggling, what I'm saying, the working class. You got people who work job and stuff, but not making enough money, you barely get by. You know what I'm saying? So it's deep, man. So when he said a village, it takes a village. That's so deep. And he said it's really sad financially that you can't take care of your child. And therefore, you think about your finances to the point that you neglecting the child's growth.
Yeah, that's literally the truth, man.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I don't know. I think he might have some more rallies though. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I'm looking it up right now because while you were talking, I was
Mhm.
trying to pick up you some tickets to go get you to go to a Kanye. I was,
Are you serious?
that's why I was quiet. I was going to try to find you tickets, but I
Okay.
can't find any. But I'm
They are,
like, if
okay.
it's in I'm pretty sure if it's in South Carolina, you can make that drive.
Yeah, that's about 4 hours, 3, 4 hours. Yeah.
And listen, I know you would be all, woo, Kanye. Listen, I will go there
I'm
for
about to
free.
live stream that. I'm about to meet you. I'm about to put that on, bro. Yeah, it's about
That's
to be
what I'm saying,
crazy.
like, when I say Gen Xers are going, like, if it, like, had it been a lot more, but think about it like this. Uh, the younger generation was the one who put Obama in office.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay? They were. And we're not just talking about just black people. We're talking about just people in general. Kanye's power that he has is literally his music.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, his music is not just for just black people. You don't have to be no hood, no thug, no. You just gotta be yourself and just enjoy music. Like,
Mm-hmm. Exactly, bro. Exactly. That's what man. Yep. Yep.
so
Bro, like man, tell you, if we go there, man, that will break the internet. Because I feel like, bro, we gonna, discuss some things. Even if we can get a way to contact Kanye and like, hey, backstage interview. I know you gonna live stream that, put that on your YouTube channel, asking questions. Like,
like I said, I was trying to find it for you. I
yeah.
just couldn't find. Like I said, I'm gonna still try. But I
Okay.
couldn't. But like whenever I leave or open up another window, it kind of takes away from this one. You know,
Okay. Well, yeah. Just just message me, offline if you find some, and I'll go ahead try to make that trip.
but I was trying to find that for you, brother. I was trying to say, let me see if I can find.
Yeah.
Um,
You gonna get one for yourself?
huh?
You gonna get one for yourself too?
Yeah.
Cool,
What?
cool.
I ain't got nothing. Listen, Kanye didn't bother me with talking, but all I know, but I'm the type of person I listen.
You're right.
I listen to what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about the drugs that people who are rich they get,
Mm-hmm.
and how the doctors will sell them 5 vats of drugs. That's him addressing the opioid issue. So if you got money, you can go get the good drugs that are close to like heroin legally.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
That's true.
said he said what it pot is it's a sister of heroin. It was some kind of oxycodone. Mind you, you're only supposed to you're only supposed to get so many of those. Can you
Mm-hmm.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So you're only supposed to get only so many of those. But the fact that he got so much of it, I mean, what can you say? You know,
True.
you gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like these are the things, that literally come back and that shows you that hey, people with more money and more said access, they can get access to these types of drugs.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's my thoughts.
Okay. 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 Yeah, man. Overall, I think this was a decent campaign. Um, I can't really. I mean, I'm not upset about it. Like I said, yeah. Hopefully, one day I'll be able to go. And we go from there, man. And like I said, I'm just very, very open minded to this. Because we want some changes, man. And seriously, the millennials, we need it. I mean, this night, especially black people. You know what I'm saying? We need it. We need it. We This is something that's so important to us, man. I want also to give a special shout out to my brother Marcus coming from district, Michigan. Um, I'm happy for him, man. He's working hard, brother, working hard out there. And the reason why I shout him out because I grew up with him. and he helped me out a lot in my youth. So I hope you get in office, brother. You know, I don't know if you're listening, but he's campaigning, so I hope he gets in office and everything, man. You know, and shit, man, for real. You know, it's good. It's really good. It's really good because like we have a as millennials, we got a voice, man. We really do. You know, this is for us, man. You know, and I think even if Kanye doesn't win, but it should give us inspiration to like, you know, not be afraid to speak up. You know, when shit ain't right, and serve communities, man. You know, this is something that we need to do, and I just think that you know, at least that we have maybe a celebrity, someone who really genuinely cares, and talk about the ills of our communities and putting shit, you know, in action. You know, so racism, all that stuff, discrimination, bullying, that's a big issue in this country. Also, too, BMT, if we get a chance to see him in person, or I talk to his team, we talk to his team, I would like for him to discuss about this cyberbullying. That's a huge issue in our community. You know, and doxing. You know, is there stimulations and laws for that? You know, so I'm pretty sure there is, but you know, I think I wanted to kind of address that as well. You know, working with these tech companies, like and kind of eliminate these trolls or something, man, because that really takes a toll on people. We got, I think it was a Twitch streamer. She was Asian, you know, committed suicide. It's crazy, man. Sex trafficking. How is he dealing with that? You know, it's a lot, man. So, but yeah, we'll see though. BMT, when you get there, you think you might have a list of questions for him?
My wife and me are drawing up some.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. So you and your wife working together on it. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay.
I mean, I already done some.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I already done a few. I already done like 2 shows. So I'm a little bit for right now, just a little bit Kanye'd out. But I am willing to do, whatever I got to do.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Cool, brother. Cool. Well, that's all I really have to say about this, man. You doing on another show tonight? Oh, BMT.
Yeah.
Oh
Can you
yeah, I
hear me?
said yeah. And I can hear you. You doing another show tonight?
I got one. I got one more. Like
Oh,
my computer right now is doing like a buffering
okay.
of
Okay.
moving files. So I'm right now on my phone, and it sucks. But like whenever I try to go, but I multitask, and I've been trying to do my, but I'm doing a little bit of classes in school. So it's kind of hard doing it on the phone
Yeah.
and also doing my stream. So that's why I did all. That's why I put out like so many streams early this morning.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
But yeah, but definitely it was definitely a blessing that when you like when you said, hey, let's just do it on your side, and I said, okay, cool, I can do that because it's less work.
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. Yeah, and yeah, I can engage more of my subscribers and stuff like that. Try to go live more. But yeah, man, that's interesting, man. So I'm glad to hear your perspective on it, and we're gonna see if we continue to move forward, see if he follows through with this. You know, in
Oh,
his election. Yeah, man. But yeah, thank you, brother, for getting on here. Like I said, it wasn't too long. And I'm probably going to get out and try to talk about something else, But I'm gonna do like a original update on this too. So as time goes on.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, everyone. You got to like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Shout out to like my case now. I appreciate you on here. And everyone else, people on Facebook. I'll be on here probably, maybe tomorrow. We'll see, depending on how the day is. But good discussion. This is Wayne Lee Jr. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Now, I'll take care. Houston.